This is The Point, news from noise, daily market call presented by Kattan Ferretti Financial. I'm your CEO, Brad Roth, and I look forward to having a daily discussion with you over the topics that we present in this note every single morning. So without further ado, The Point. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Point. It's your host, Brad Roth. I'm here with Cameron. We are in the same location for the first time in a couple of days. But it is a holiday weekend. It's a beautiful Monday here in Pittsburgh, and I think half the world is taking a half a day, which we are as well. So what do you got in the news?
U.S. futures are higher this morning despite a light trading volume, while the New York Stock Exchange closes at 1 p.m. today ahead of Independence Day. Markets wait for some important dates for the economy this week, including Wednesday's release of the minutes from the Fed's mid-June policy meeting in which they raised interest rates. The Labor Department is set to report on Friday, with economists projecting an increase of 175,000 workers and growth in wages consistent with the solid labor market. The dollar strengthened against all of its G10 peers, while the yield on 10-year treasuries continues to climb at 2.31%. Crude oil is up another 0.2%, while gold fell 0.6%. Also in commodities, wheat jumped to a 2-year high as agriculture markets soared on an expanding drought in the U.S. Toyota has spent more than $1 billion on an extreme makeover at their Kentucky plant where they build Camrys as they realize a shift in demand towards pickups and SUVs. Goldman Sachs is set to review the direction of their business as the results in commodities trading continues to slump with its worst start in a decade. Global Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index is reported today around the world as the U.S. will report at 9:45 a.m., while we also get vehicle sales data, expecting a continued year-on-year decline. European stocks rose for the first time in 5 days as gains in oil and metals spurred energy commodities and miners, while banks also saw a rally. The euro and pound both fell about 0.5% after the pound realized an 8-day rally, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel is hosting a 2-day G20 summit beginning on Friday. President Trump will attend and is expected to meet with Vladimir Putin on the side. Banks inside the EU are still under scrutiny for their program to handle struggling banks and look for a way to keep small banks from going under. Japan's Topics Index rose as a survey showed growing confidence among manufacturers, while Hong Kong and Shanghai both realized small gains. China is unleashing a Bond Connect program with Hong Kong that will give offshore investors another way to access the mainland's $10 trillion debt market. The yen dropped 0.5% after the ruling party lost to an upstart outfit in an election for Tokyo's assembly, presenting the prime minister with one of his biggest tests to date. 4 countries accused Qatar of supporting extremist groups and was given a list of 13 demands by Saudi-led coalition that cut diplomatic and transport links with the country in efforts to resolve the issue. And lastly, Iran plans to sign a contract with Total and China National Petroleum Corporation to develop its share of the world's biggest natural gas field. So, Brad, not a whole lot going on right now, kind of waiting for some economic data.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow week. I'm happy you pronounced Qatar correctly this time.
I learned.
I am keeping an eye on that, though. I mean, it is interesting what's going on over there. Qatar's a huge energy hub, and keeping an eye on what that can have any sort of effect on energy prices. But really, the story over the next couple of days is volume is going to be just anemically low. I wouldn't put too much weight on really anything that happens in the market up or down over kind of the next 48 hours. We did, however, get a signal on our risk management systems on Friday. So short term, we're being a lot more cautious than we were previously. But again, Cam, we're keeping an eye on really just the normal stuff here. PMI and vehicle sales, don't think that they're huge market movers. But other than that, what do you have for us in sports? I saw a lot of trades and a lot of going on in the NHL.
NHL and NBA free agency this weekend, so obviously a lot of stuff going on. I kind of shortened it down for you into what was important on the website. A lot of guys signed big deals like Carey Price and Kuznetsov in Washington, staying put, Joe Thornton. But mainly Kevin Shattenkirk decided to go to New York Rangers. He was the big selling point, I guess. Penguins lost a lot of different guys.
Who's a big loss there for the Pens?
Well, they lost Kunitz, Daly, Hainsey, and Bonino.
No, well, that's a pretty good group of core guys. But real quick, housekeeping here before we end the point. We have a new episode of the Investment Advisors out. Get that. It's really good. It's on asset allocation diversification. So make sure you are subscribing to that. And quote of the day actually came from that episode from Max Nape. It doesn't have to be confusing. It doesn't have to be expensive when he was referring to investment advice. So, Cameron, that wraps up the point for Monday, July 3rd. We will see you all on Wednesday, July 5th, because tomorrow is a holiday. So everyone have a great July 4th and enjoy time with your family and friends. See ya.